Hey, I want to tell you guys a little secret. A big misconception about healing is that people think that they can heal on their own, meaning they can go out, isolate themselves, stay away from people, stay away from communities. People often think that being by themselves and isolating gives them space and gives them time to heal and get better. That could be a part of the journey, but get this, true healing takes place in relationships. Now, to all my antisocial people out there that do not want to hear anything about being in a relationship, before you click off this video, hear me out. Think about it for a minute. What hurt you the most? It was a relationship. There was a hurt and maybe an abandonment or a lack of trust that happened. There was some sort of thing that happened to you in a relationship that caused you to go into yourself. It caused you to retreat and not want to be around people. Because of this, it is natural for us to want to not experience that hurt again and not want to be around people. And there is a time in a season where I believe it's acceptable to take some time to lick your wounds and to feel a sense of safety. But when it comes to true healing, you have to put yourself out there. You have to get back into community, into relationships. You have to learn to discern good people, safe environments, because true healing comes through a relationship. It comes through being vulnerable, being able to be your authentic self in a relationship, and to be able to receive love, who you are, um, being able to receive care, being who you are, being your authentic self. And it all starts with relationships. So, what is our first relationship? You guys know that I'm going to say number one, our first relationship should be our relationship with God. How do we see God? How do we view him? Is he an evil God in the sky that's waiting to beat you down every time you make a mistake? I view God like that for a very long time because I didn't have a good male role model to show me that God is actually a very loving and gentle and tender God, that He's actually waiting to love us and He wants to accept us even when we make a mistake. So, number one, that relationship with God. We have to get a proper understanding and view of who God is. And that is a very healing process. I remember when I was discovering God and I had to really lay aside my ideas and my beliefs about God. I had a lot of anger against God because I felt that he played favorites. I felt that he had some people that he favored, that he gave good things to, and then the people that he didn't favor had hardships and bad lives. So I really had to lay that idea aside so that I could receive God and who he truly is, that he loves everyone. He doesn't play favorites. He has given us a beautiful life for a purpose, for a destiny. He's a God of hope. So that within itself is a very healing time, and it's a very beautiful thing to experience God's love and to have a relationship with him where you're able to receive from him, but also that he would receive from you. He receives your praise. He receives your, when you cry, when you have an issue, right? When you have a complaint, he receives, he listens to us, he's close to us. So The next relationship that I want to talk to you guys about is the relationship to others, people, community. And this is the part that we get wrong so many times because when we get into communities, a lot of people in these communities, especially faith based communities, they are hurt already. And what do they say? Hurt people hurt people. And that is so true. And you guys, this was a stumbling block for me for so many years because I had worked so hard to get this healing by relating to God in the right way. And then it seemed like as soon as I did get healed and found out that God loved me, I got into these relationships with people at church, and it was like they couldn't wait to crush me. And it took me a long time to realize that what those people did, it wasn't because I was a bad person or I did something wrong. It wasn't because God did something wrong. And it was because those people were hurting. And so, because of that experience, I learned something very valuable that number one, I was hurt so bad and I wanted to leave relationships. I wanted to leave church. I didn't want to be around people. And during that time of isolation and being by myself, I realized that I needed to be around people, but that I had done some things wrong because I failed to discern when people were showing me that they had some spiritual issues, when they were showing me that they weren't safe people. I didn't heed those warnings. And so the Lord began to teach me and show me that relationships are good, and then he started showing me so many relationships that were good that I had in church, in that same church, right? Where I was hurt, and how those relationships grew me, how people gave me time to just be myself, even when I would think the wrong thing or say the wrong things or maybe have an attitude or whatever. People that truly loved God could love me and gave me that space to be who I was. And it was through those relationships that I really gained confidence and I gained a voice. And so when I left and God showed me that healing must take place in relationships, I began to get back out there, put myself out there, but now I listen to the Holy Spirit. When He shows me something, I know that okay, this is not a safe ground. So I can be your friend and love you, but I don't have to totally just be vulnerable. I have to listen for the Holy Spirit. And what I love most about relationships with other people is I love getting to know people. I love to share who I am with other people. I am a type of person, I'm very comfortable with being vulnerable. And that's a big part of getting healing because if you're not real, if you're not who you are in a relationship, then you will never grow. You will never be able to heal. You'll never be able to move past what it was that hurt you. So, I hope all that makes sense to you guys, but you got to be in a loving and safe community where you can be you, and that relationship will foster healing. And then the last thing I want to talk to you guys about is relationships with objects. And when I say objects, I mean things. People be having relationships with things like money. People be having relationships with vanity, beauty, houses, cars, materialistic things. And or working. I need to put that one in there because some of you guys are overworking yourselves and you're trying to look like something and be something, and you're relating to this stuff like it's people. And you see, we cannot relate to objects like it's people and have a fulfilled life. There's going to be emptiness at the end of it. You because a house can't love you back. A car can't love you back. Your bank account can't love you back. There's no true growth in that. That is just a facade. And so we as people of God, we have to learn not to love materials. We have to learn to relate to materials in the proper way. These are tools. These are something that God gives you. If God has blessed you with riches, money, big house, big car, it's a tool for you to serve God. It's not something for you to make a part of your identity and relate to it in a way that God has never called you to relate to it. That leads to more brokenness, and it leads to a great sense of emptiness at the end of your life. So you don't want to do that. So I hope that this information helps someone today. I felt super led by the Holy Spirit to talk about relationships. And this is my type of content because I love relationships. I know that God works through relationships. It's a very, very powerful and holy thing. So I hope this helps you. If it touched you, please share it with someone that you love today. And you guys be blessed.